Dear friends, in Indian tradition there is a saying, every inhalation is a sort of birth and every exhalation is a sort of death. In our birth we had an inhalation without a previous exhalation. In our death we are going to have an exhalation without a further inhalation. That is the difference between birth and death. Spirituality is nothing but our readiness to die each moment. Father Tony DeMello says, to the enlightened, the awareness of death gives sweetness to life. Father Thomas Merton, a famous mystic of our time, seems to confirm this. He said, I have a habitual awareness that I may die. In today's second reading, St. Paul compares our baptism to the Paschal mystery of Christ. He says, we have been buried with him by baptism into death. This death which St. Paul speaks of is nothing but saying a constant no to our lower nature, namely our bodily inclinations, mental cravings, self-centered lifestyle, etc. In fact, sin is nothing but living according to the cravings of our lower nature. When we constantly die to our lower nature, simultaneously we are also risen to our higher nature, namely relationship with God and human beings, a virtuous life, a life of freedom and joy. So this is a way how the Paschal mystery of Christ can take shape in our lives. Robin Sharma, a famous motivational speaker, writes, in order to awaken to your best life, it is important that you die while you are alive. Dear friends, in today's Gospel, Jesus invites us to die to our lower nature, namely to our attachments. In fact, a peripheral reading of the Gospel would make a person naively understand that Jesus invites us to hate our fathers, mothers, and our family members. We do know that whole life of Jesus was immersed in and centered around love. And the only commandment he gave was that of love. Moreover, it has to be kept in mind that while Jesus was hanging on the cross, and even during that moment of agony and excruciating pain, he had a special thought for his mother and safely handed her over to the beloved disciple. If it is true that Jesus invites us to hate our own fathers and mothers, then Jesus would be an anti-witness to his own words. So in today's Gospel, the word love has to be understood in the background of attachment. Maybe we can paraphrase the words of Jesus in this way. Whoever is attached to one's father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever is attached to one's son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Attachment is something linked to possessiveness and selfishness. There is no real welfare of the other involved in attachment. Besides, it is also a source of misery. In fact, only when a person transcends attachment, one will be capable of loving others. In other words, when a person dies to one's attachment, one is risen to a life of love and relationship. The basic difference between attachment and love is this. Attachment is relating with a person for my sake. Loving is relating with a person for the sake of that person. Attachment enslaves a person while love offers a person freedom. Once Mullah was standing in a marketplace and playing a violin. He went on playing a same note. People were bored and asked him the reason for playing the same note. Mullah answered, other musicians are looking for the perfect note. I have already discovered it. I am playing that perfect note. Many of us are like that. We get attached to certain things and persons in life and get stuck up to them. we are not able to transcend and grow towards higher aspects of life, and it makes life bored and fed up. Finally, my dear friends, besides pointing out the need for dying every moment, today's readings also point out a concrete way to experience death every day in our lives. Hospitality is that way. In the Gospel, Jesus speaks about hospitality. He says, "Whoever welcomes you welcomes me, and whoever welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me." In the first reading, we see a concrete example for hospitality in the person of rich widow from Shunem. Hospitality is a very helpful way to die to our lower nature, because a hospitable person has to deny one's own comforts, has to put the welfare of the other person in front, has to think beyond oneself, has to totally shun selfish tendencies. Former Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, once went to New York. During his stay there, a rich man called him for dinner. He accepted the invitation and went. During dinner, the rich man told Nehru how much he spent for each of the guests who had come for that dinner. It made Nehru angry. He said to the rich man, "In our poor country, in a dinner, hospitality and love for the other person is more important than the amount you put in. But you seem to give more importance to the money you spend for the guests. I don't like it." Saying that, he quitted the dinner. Prayer. Loving Father, help us to die each moment to our lower nature and raise to our higher self. Amen.